Okay, now I'm going to tell this story. So I'm going to tell it because Jackie will probably ruin it.
And we're on Facebook Watch right now
Okay.
if you want to, because I just want to show you a facial expression as part of this story. But anyway, go ahead, Kyle. You tell your side.
Okay, so, this radio network, we own a lot of other radio stations. So ARN is the main company we work for. They own Kiss FM, The Edge, 90, whatever that is.
I used to work there.
Yeah, and WSFM as well, okay? So they own that here in Sydney, many others around Australia. But we often see in the hallways from time to time presenters from other radio stations.
Correct. Not often.
Not all the time, but, you
It
run
does
into them
happen.
every now and then. They're all fine. We all get along well. There's no drama.
Yeah.
But some of them I've worked with before at other radio stations years ago, like Jonesy at WSFM,
Yeah.
who does the breakfast show with Amanda Keller. Him and I used to work together at Triple M in Brisbane. We've been friends for a long time. We just, like radio friends. Like, I've never been to his house or anything, but I really like him.
Yep.
He likes me. And then there's Jim Dolan, who does the news on WSFM. I used to work with him 35 years ago at a radio station in Mackay. So I've known these people forever.
So let's just remember those two people, okay? Jonesy and Jim Dolan.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
So,
they're a part of this story.
That's the big story. So but the show finishes the other day. Jackie leaves. I leave moments after. I go down in the lift to the car park where all the presenters have their cars. And the door opens and I hear Jonesy's motorbike. He's got a couple of Harleys. Right, so Jonesy has a Harley here.
and the Harley is parked right next to my car.
Exactly.
Like, it's not even a proper car
Yeah.
spot. It's
so
just,
I
that's where it's
like
parked.
Jonesy, but I don't like getting trapped having conversations in the car park with Jonesy
Because
because he starts his motorbike and then he's leaving around the same time I am.
And then
And
you
then
know
if I
that,
walk, I have to walk past him to get to my car, right? Because I'm taking up 2 spots down the back. And then there's always small talk, and then he gets dressed in his motorbike gear really slowly, Brooklyn.
Yeah,
The jacket goes on. He's got wet weather pants and the big glove, and it's a very slow. He's not getting dressed quickly.
I reckon for every 5 to 7 minutes that go by,
Yep.
an extra item of clothing might go on.
Exactly.
So
one
it'll
glove,
take 7
5
minutes to get one glove on,
And-
and he will not let you go until he's fully
Yeah.
dressed.
And
Not
you
like-
just want to get in a Bentley and get
I
out.
just wanna
You've
go.
got to remember when we finish work,
I'm
we are
exhausted.
so mentally drained. All we want to do is just get in that car and not talk.
So the lift opens, I hear the and I think, I'm going into the handicap toilet for a wee. And by that stage, he would have driven off. Not that I don't like the guy. I love the guy.
Okay, we can just get that out of the way. It's got nothing to do
Okay.
with not liking Jones.
So anyway,
right?
take a piss in the toilet. I come out and I still hear, and I think, oh, shit. But I hear Jackie's voice. And I think, great. Jackie's trapped talking to him.
Which I
right.
was. It was him and Jim Dolan down
Yeah,
there.
and Jackie's in for a chat. She's fine. And I walk out and I see them
Really?
there.
Yeah, not
Jackie's
really, no.
Well, she'll chat
No.
anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to, but she will. Jackie's got the door open to her car, standing there.
One foot in the
One
door.
foot in, and he's putting one glove on. Jim Dolan's there laughing. They're all chatting to Jackie, and I thought, good. But I've got to walk past them all. So I'm walking past. So first I thought, maybe they won't see me if I just look at the ground. Right? So I'm
Just
walking
walk
past.
straight past.
Walk straight past. And then
And
they
you know
go,
what I'm
hey.
thinking in my mind? Great, Kyle's here. We'll do a relay. So
Yeah.
you take over and I'll
you
get in
can
my
drive
car.
on. No
yes, I
way.
was very happy when I heard you come round the corner. I'm like, great. And you know what? When Jonesy saw you, he was so happy to
Mm. I
see
know,
you because he hadn't seen you since last year.
Exactly.
So I saw his face light up like, hey, Kyle's here.
Yeah,
He
so
can
you-
join in, right?
Do you know what I did, Brooklyn?
What?
When I realised, when he said, hey, mate, and they all looked at me and then all conversation stopped, I thought, oh, I haven't been able to sneak past, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but they wanted to talk, or they said, hey, how was your show or something? And I don't know why, but I puffed my face up.
No, you didn't even puff your
I
face
didn't
up.
know.
No.
What did I do? I just pointed to I just kept my mouth shut and went, pointed at my mouth like,
Like you got a toothache or
I
something?
don't know. Like,
No.
I couldn't speak. My lips were glued. I don't know why. I don't even know what I was
It
thinking.
was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen And I've never seen anyone use something more lame to get out of a conversation. Kyle was pretending he had a mouthful of food, but he wasn't even pretending that there was food in there. You weren't chewing, nothing. It was like, I can't talk, mouthful of food. But it was just so bizarre, and it was
it
just
didn't
so
work.
weird. And we were all looking at you walk past, and the whole time you're going,
And kept walking.
and
I
Jonesy
knew
looks
it
at
wasn't
me.
working. I knew it wasn't
So
working.
the three of you there just didn't know what
We
to
were
do.
we were quite stunned by like what is wrong with him, and Jonesy looks at me and says, "Is he okay?" And I say, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry." And we were all very confused.
And then I
Kyle
started
just
the
gets in his car. And like I'm thinking, oh God, that's embarrassing. Like how embarrassing. And you feel working because Kyle and I are a duo. You feel like when your husband does something, like you're a part of it
You're
somehow.
responsible. You feel responsible.
You feel responsible, and you're equally as embarrassed. So you try and cover for your husband or
Yeah,
partner.
yeah.
And there really wasn't anything I could do to cover for that embarrassment.
Yeah, it was very obvious that I was just faking it.
It was so obvious. And then you get in your car, and I'm still hearing the conversation.
Plus
We're
the
up to
motorbike.
We're up to the second glove at this point, right? The helmet, nothing has been put on.
no,
Just
no
the
jacket.
second glove.
Yeah.
And Kyle drives. He has to drive still past us to get out, right? Yeah. So he drives up to us, and then he stops his car. Now, his windows are up and they're tinted. And I'm thinking, I knew it. I knew he'd feel guilty.
Yes, I did. I felt guilty.
He felt guilty. I knew it.
I knew I hadn't tricked anyone.
So once again, the conversation stops because Kyle's car pulls up to us and stops. Now, we can see in, even though your windows are tinted.
Yes.
We can see you, and you look at us, and we're waiting for you to wind down the window, clearly to say, hey, guys,
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry
whatever.
about that.
But it took about 5 seconds, and we're sitting there waiting, and then you obviously thought, nah, can't be bothered.
That's exactly what I thought.
And you drove off, and then that made it even more weird. Because then Jonesy turned to me once again and said, what's wrong with
He
him?
probably thinks he's got a problem with him
I
now.
no, I don't think he thinks that. He
And I
knows I've been
just really-
strange.
and I had to text you and said, well, that was the
I know.
lamest way to get out of a
You
conversation.
did too. And I was like, well, could you tell?
Could you tell? Yes.
I don't think he knows I'm a bit of a strange cat. I don't think he's going to have a problem.
Jonesy never has a problem. Like, he's fine. He just would have thought you were.
It just knew it was odd.
Guys, I can say I was in the lift with their executive producer, Millie,
Yeah.
at WS, and it's gotten around. So Jonesy's obviously said something.
What do you mean it's gotten around?
As in, Jonesy's spoken to his team and has asked if you're okay because he thought something was wrong with you.
Wow, he must have thought I'd had a stroke or something.
Yeah, they're concerned for your health on that side.
See, I told you it was weird.
I knew I'd done it. When you try and I couldn't get on. I was too embarrassed to even wind that window down to say anything.
You really could have saved yourself if you had have wound down the window.
I know.
That you would have redeemed yourself at that point.
I just didn't care
But you
enough.
doubled down.
I just didn't care
Well,
enough.
don't stop then.
I know I shouldn't have.
Oh, my God.
I should have just rolled past, not caring. But they're old radio friends of mine. Like, I've known them for like 30 years.
How embarrassing.
But you can only do so much small talk with someone. You know what I mean?
How much food could you possibly have in your mouth
No,
to
I
not
didn't
be
have-
able
yeah.
to just swallow it
I
and
know.
say,
But
hello?
if I was pretending, seriously, that's not something I would ever do. Is
didn't have
pretend I
time
had a
to-
mouthful.
I didn't have time to think.
Because
of
when you have a mouthful of food, you would go, give me 2 seconds, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you guys? That's what you would do if you had a mouthful of food.
I know.
And you would pretend somewhat to at least look like your mouth's full and you're chewing.
I was just too tired to do
not
any
you.
small talk. Like, I like the blokes. I like you, obviously, but I just didn't want to get... Like, you guys all sitting down there, like, what are you even talking about? What were you talking about?
What were we talking about? We were talking about how are you adjusting to the hours again after such a long break?
Oh, you poor white privileged things. Oh, you've got to get up so early.
How are you coping with, how do you feel after the show?
Oh,
do you feel
please. Well, that sounds like some spiritual commune. All getting around talking about our feelings. No thanks. I'm glad I walked past. From now on, I'm not talking to anyone.
Oh. Well, next time, just go, sorry, guys, I got to run.
Yeah, you're
Just
right.
be
I should have
normal.
been honest.
Just don't be weird, that's all.
Honesty's the best policy.
We're going to talk to Jess coming up next, guys, from Married at First Sight. We'll find out how she's feeling after getting that wine thrown in her face.
Oh, my God. She looked so good, too.
She looked amazing, didn't she?
Get her hair did and then got thrown all that water. Is it water or wine?
Wine. It was wine.
Plus, Eric
Gross.
Banner coming up soon, guys.
The Kyle and Jackie O Show.
Listen now.